Warning: this episode contains graphic content. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey guys, I'm Amanda.
I'm Melissa, and this is Dark and Twisties.
Dark and Twisties is a weekly crime and creepy podcast hosted by two best friends who uncover some of life's twisted moments.
Bringing you a dark dose of serotonin and self-care sprinkled with a little humor, we run you through the facts, all while dropping our unprofessional opinion.
Follow us on Instagram at Dark and Twisties Podcast.
Find us by searching Dark and Twisties on Spotify and Google Podcasts.
And join us as we unravel our latest dark and twisty obsession. Stick around after the story to hear our thoughts on this case.
We are going to be talking about the murder case of Skylar Neese. Around midnight on July 6, 2012, Skylar Neese disappeared from her home in Star City, West Virginia. At 12:30, her apartment complex security camera caught her sneaking out of her window and getting into a gray sedan. Her father said she did not take her cell phone charger, left her window open, and planned on returning that night. On the night of the murder, Skylar snuck out with her friends Sheila, E.4, and Rachel Shoaf. Skylar was initially hesitant about going because she recently had a falling out with Sheila and Rachel, but decided to go anyway. They drove towards Wing Township, Pennsylvania, which was the place they frequently smoked weed at. Once they all arrived and got out of the car, Rachel and Sheila told Skylar they forgot their lighter, and Skylar offered to go back and grab hers. As she turned her back towards the girls, they counted to 3 and started stabbing Skylar. Skylar attempted to run, but only made it about 2 feet before Rachel tackled her to the ground. Skylar was able to wrestle Rachel's knife from her and ended up cutting Rachel's knee while trying to defend herself. Sheila continued to stab Skylar until she stopped moving and stopped making noises. According to Rachel, they waited until Skylar's neck stopped making a gurgling sound. Skylar's post-mortem exam showed more than 50 stab wounds. Rachel and Sheila attempted to bury Skylar's body, but the ground was too hard, so they ended up just covering her up with some branches and leaves. They then went back to their car, changed their clothes, cleaned themselves off, disposed of their blood-soaked clothes, and returned to their homes. Skylar was initially classified as a runaway by police, and an Amber Alert was not immediately released for her. A break came in the case when Rachel admitted to the police that she was planning to murder her with Sheila. She told the cops the motivation was that her and Sheila just didn't like her anymore and didn't want to be friends with her anymore. After her confession, she led police to Skylar's body. On March 23, 2013, police held a press conference and announced the body they found in Wayne Township on January 16, 2013 was in fact Skylar Neese. On May 1, 2013, Shoaf pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. According to the court transcript, Shoaf said that she and Edie picked up Neese in Edie's car. The girls drove to Pennsylvania, got out of the car, and began socializing. At a prearranged time, Shoaf and Edie stabbed Skylar to death. The teens attempted to bury Neese's body but were unable to do so and instead covered the body with branches. The court transcript indicates that other students overheard conversations about Shoaf and Edie about the murder plot but failed to report it, thinking that they were just joking. According to Shoaf's plea agreement, she pleaded guilty to murder in the second degree by unlawfully, feloniously, willfully, maliciously, and intentionally causing the death of Skylar Neese by stabbing her and causing fatal injuries. In the plea agreement, the state of West Virginia recommended a sentence of 40 years incarceration. Shoaf's family issued a public apology for her actions through their lawyer. On September 4, 2013, West Virginia prosecutors publicly identified Edie as the second alleged perpetrator of the murder of Neese and announced that she would be tried as an adult. Edie was indicted by a grand jury on September 6, 2013 on 1 count of kidnapping, 1 count of first-degree murder, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder. She pleaded not guilty. The date of the trial was originally set for January 28, 2014. Facing the prospect of additional charges from Pennsylvania authorities, Edie pleaded guilty to first-degree murder. She expressed no remorse but was sentenced to life in prison with mercy under West Virginia law. She is eligible for parole after 15 years. Following her guilty plea on May 1, 2013, Shoaf received a sentence of 30 years in prison and will be eligible for parole after 10 years. Edie originally was held in a facility for juveniles after her arrest, but now both women are incarcerated at the Lakin Correctional Center in Mason County. On March 27, 2013, Skylar's Law was passed in West Virginia. This law makes it so an Amber Alert can be put out for a missing child right away, regardless of if the child is suspected to be kidnapped. West Virginia Governor Earl Ray Tomblin signed this legislation into law in May of 2013. If you would like to learn more or see pictures related to this case, head over to www.darkandtwisties.com.
Cats and Crimes is a monthly true crime blog started by two cousins who decided that their passion of digging deeper into unsolved crimes and missing persons was better shared with others. Covering cold cases, missing persons, active investigations, and causes of death that can't be explained, they help bring awareness to these sometimes forgotten crimes. You can check them out at www.catsandcrime.net or on Facebook and Instagram at Cats and Crime. This one is like a mother's worst nightmare because Sheila and Skylar, they knew each other and their families were close. And then they met Rachel. That was a third wheel type of situation. One of them had to go, you know?
Right. And I think I remember reading somewhere that Sheila and Rachel were in a relationship.
Yeah, something about like they were in a relationship and that maybe Skylar found out about it and then she was going to out them.
Yeah, because I think I remember them saying like she caught them and like she wasn't happy about it. Didn't they say at one point that they like dropped her off at like a party or something?
There was a rumor that went around that they picked her up and then they went to a party and then like she overdosed on heroin or something and then the kids at the party didn't know what to do, so they just got rid of the body.
There's absolutely no way that you have a bunch of teenagers at a party, someone dies, and everybody at the party just stays completely silent. Teenagers gossip. Somebody's saying something to somebody who's going to say something to someone else, and then everybody knows.
I wasn't a partier. So I always heard about parties because someone always opened their mouth. It sucks in the beginning that she had run away before. They automatically just assumed that she ran away.
Yeah, because then, I mean, Skylar's family wouldn't have had to go through the bullshit of, Sheila and Rachel trying to be like, oh my God, we miss her so much.
And she even went and put up flyers.
She did with Skylar's mom.
Even in the beginning, the dad was telling police to leave the girls alone, like they had been through enough. And prime example of not being able to pick your kids' friends. When they started getting like an idea that the girls were involved, they had them take a polygraph test. Now Sheila went and took a polygraph test and she was like, yeah, you can totally polygraph test me. Like I'm gonna pass, and fails. Just completely fails. And then Rachel, on the other hand, she's like, yeah, I'll take the test. And then as they're driving there, she jumps out of the vehicle. She's like, no, I'm not doing this. She's like yeeted herself right out that car. She's like, look, I'm done. Take what you want from this, but I am out of here. I'm like,
I mean, to be fair, that's how I deal with shit too. I just yeet myself out of the situation.
You just yeet myself out of You want me to do a polygraph? Sure.
That is kind of funny. She just did a tuck and roll. I'm out of here.
Like, why even get in the car? Like, if you're that on the fence that you have to jump out of the vehicle, why'd you even get in the car?
Right, you should have said something before you were in a moving vehicle. You should have been like, hey, I don't know about this one.
This should have been common knowledge.
You probably should have said it before so you didn't have to yeet yourself out of a moving vehicle. But I mean, whatever floats your boat.
To be fair, though, like, she needed to be yeeted because clearly she had some mental issues going on. Like, because there's a 911 call. You can't hear the whole thing, but you can hear parts of it. And, like, she's going ballistic in the background. And her, like, I think it's her mom or her stepmom. She's like, she just gave me a black eye. Like, a homie was losing her shit. Because then she goes into the mental hospital.
So she legitimately lost her mind.
Yeah. I mean, if you just got done killing somebody and people, especially if you're at school as a kid who like killed somebody else in your school and then having to go back, rumors flying around, I bet that was hard. Like, no wonder she lost her mind and yeeted herself out of a fucking vehicle, but you shouldn't have done it in the first place. You kind of did it to yourself.
Yeah, because wasn't it Rachel was the one that kind of started feeling bad about doing it, but Sheila still just didn't give a shit?
Sheila was just like, it's all right, it's whatever, because she just didn't seem like the best friend who lost her best friend. It was almost like she liked the attention from it.
I'm sure she did.
She probably liked the attention.
Rachel was the church one and had like the really Christian parents, and then Sheila was like the party one.
Yeah.
Right. So she didn't care, but Rachel, I think maybe God spoke to her and was like, you hoe.
She was like, yeah, let me yeet myself to Jesus. I'm yeeting for Jesus.
Eating myself for Jesus.
There's no other reason that you can get yourself out of it.
Right. I
Because
mean,
then, like, even after, like, when she got out of the mental hospital, I think they went straight from the mental hospital when she got released to the police station where she was like, all right, I'm going to tell you some stuff. Like, you could have told us beforehand. You didn't have to go through all this.
no, but you also didn't have to kill your best friend.
Yeah. And can I
I did
just
that.
mention, here we are again with another case that involves kitchen knives.
Is it the kitchen knives again?
The shovel was from Rachel's dad's house, and then they both got their own clean clothes that they put inside the car. And then Sheila was the one who brought the kitchen knives, according to Rachel.
It's always the kitchen knives. I don't understand the appeal of a kitchen knife.
I guess it's just because it's easy to access. I just
See, I gotta throw them away. I can't.
ditch them. Just get new knives and put them in a lockbox. Just be like this, so that way nobody turns them into a murder weapon.
You can't get my kitchen knives.
For me, we've got a machete, so like I don't think I could trust myself with a kitchen knife. I would have to get too close to them, you know what I mean? Like if I had to kill somebody, I'd have to get too close to them. I want to use something with some distance on it. I don't want to get near them. I don't want them to get near me. Like we need to social distance during this thing.
I would use a crossbow because then I really don't have to get close.
With a machete, I could just literally swing my arm around like a helicopter and just come on.
Why? I don't know why, but when you said that, I imagined that scene in, what is it, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where they cut off the knight's arms and it's merely a flesh wound.
Dude, I've never watched those. You always reference those movies. I've never watched them. I hate that.
You need to, because that's hard.
I don't understand the point of them. And
they're feel like so funny.
I feel like I'm too far gone past the era of Monty Python that it matters. I just feel like if I start quoting it now, everyone's gonna know I'm a fraud. I'll never watch them.
He cuts off both of his arms and both of his legs, and he's like hopping around on his torso. It's merely a flesh wound.
That's funny. And it's a year later that Sheila posts the famous tweet. We really did go on 3.
Yeah, it was about a year later. It was April 1st, yeah. Why did you have to do it on April 1st? Why'd you have to write that on April 1st?
Yeah, April Fool's Day.
We know you ain't fooling no one.
You're not fooling anybody.
But I think it's the fact that she wrote that is just...
Yeah, she doesn't care.
No, she didn't care, obviously, but...
We really went on 3, like, cool, bro.
Especially because once the details come out of, like, what they did and how they did it, Skylar's parents are going to know that tweet was written about you murdering their daughter.
Her parents at one point were like on social media urging them like, look, you need to come forward. You need to tell us what you did. They were on there pushing. They saw all those things. They know what you said. Even if they didn't see it themselves, they know what happened.
Yeah.
So for you to say that, like, that's so freaking insensitive. And then the fact that they waited until her throat stopped making the gurgling noise. What? You're best friends with this chick and you just watch her die on the floor and wait for that last gurgle to go through? Like, gross, dude.
The person you've been friends with since you were like, what, 8?
Yeah.
They were pretty young.
Mm-hmm. They grew up together.
We didn't even grow up together, but I could never murder you.
I mean, I could probably murder you.
So hurtful.
Wouldn't watch you die slowly. Like, I'm not that mean. I'd make it quick for you, to get you out of here.
I guess that's sweet.
My own mentally ill way. Just kidding. I love you.
They obviously had like that falling out and they weren't really as close anymore. I guarantee the day that she snuck out with them, she was like, oh, maybe we're going to make up. We're going to be friends again. And then they brutally attack her and murder her.
Yeah, because so on July 2nd, 2012, so this is like 4 days before, Skylar tweeted, people can be so mean for absolutely no reason. And then on the 4th, she said, sick of being at fucking home. Thanks, friends. Love hanging out with you all, too. So probably Rachel and Sheila were together, and she knew about it. And then stress will be the death of me on July 4th. And then the last one that she ever tweeted was, you doing shit like this is why I will never completely trust you. Then she goes and she gets in a car with them and trusts them. That's just so tragic.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's one of those things when it comes to just girls in general. Yeah. You have friends and then you have a falling out and then you want to be friends with them again. So you're just like, oh no, it's fine. Mm-hmm. And you kind of push all that shit past.
Yeah.
And obviously that wasn't a good idea for Skylar. But it is sad that she probably looked up at them and just thought, like, I don't understand, like,
Yeah.
what you're doing. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's really sad. We can't see Sheila's replies because hers start like after. If you look at some of them, like you can tell like they were Twitter battling. You can see she was really angry. Like, so
Yeah.
obviously they did something like really, something that really hurt her. And then they had to have tried to bring her back in, like, okay, we're sorry. So they had to do something to make her feel better to want to hang out with them after they did
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah, because I read that, they had called her about, like, hanging out with them, and she was, like, super reluctant about it first.
Mm-hmm.
And then she ended up deciding to go. So, like, obviously her gut was telling her, like, don't do it.
Yeah, like
And I
don't go.
guarantee they pressured her into going because they had already planned it.
Yeah, they for sure planned that. Like, they may
I
not have
think
been planning it for months, but they definitely had a good few weeks. They
Oh,
were
yeah, they were. Because there's no way that you didn't plan it when you specifically told her to go back to the car and get a lighter because you forgot yours, and then as soon as she turned her back, you attacked her. You were planning that all along because you don't just do that in the moment, being like, "Oh, yeah, we forgot our lighter," and then you see someone turn around and be like, "Oh, perfect time."
they had to talk about counting to 3, so
Yeah.
they had to have some type of plan.
Just because they didn't like her anymore. Look how many times me and you haven't liked each other. We've never killed each other.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not
Yet being the key word there.
yet.
I'm pretty sure Sheila might have been the mastermind behind all this.
Oh, yeah, they make it seem like Rachel was the one who kind of like made the divide. She probably made the divide, but I feel like it's harder for someone to convince you to kill your childhood friend than it is to convince someone to help you kill your childhood friend, especially if they have a common goal. She had to have been the mastermind. Like, there's no way that she wasn't.
Yeah, because Rachel's obviously the one that came forward to begin with, and Sheila had no desire to ever come forward. I mean, even at her trial, she pleaded not guilty.
Oh, yeah, that makes me so mad.
And the only reason that she pleaded guilty is because she didn't want to get more charges against her.
Yeah.
So, like, you didn't have any remorse for what you did. You didn't want to come through and say, okay, yeah, I did it. You were just like, nope, wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about. We do know what we're talking about, but okay.
I didn't know that they still tried to, like, I thought the tactic of making your friend try to confess to murder, like, by recording them, I really thought that that was just, like, a movie thing.
No, they really did.
Yeah, they really did.
They for sure sent her in there and were like, we need you to get that bitch. And she said, I say less.
Yeah, say less, I'll be in there. And then, like, I think it's funny that they took selfies. All meanwhile, she's standing in there trying to get this girl's confession, and she's like, let me take a selfie.
Homegirl's wearing wires for days.
Yeah.
That was something like they literally talked about what happened and what they did. And then she was like, let's take selfies.
It's just another day.
I don't understand how Rachel was calm enough. I would have been shitting myself.
You want me to do what? We just reminisced about the murder we committed. You want to do what?
Honestly, you wouldn't even be able to take selfies with me because I'd be sweating so bad because I'd be like, what?
Sweat under your armpits. Is it hot in here or is it just me?
Do you have the heat on? I can't breathe.
Holy crap. We're talking about murder in here? What's happening? Just swinging your shirt around. I had to actually Google because when they got arrested, Rachel, she pled guilty. And then Sheila only pled guilty because she was going to get first degree with mercy, which I had to Google because I had no idea what that meant. And I guess it's something that the jury can decide to add to the verdict of first degree. So, like, if they think the first degree is like what they did was first degree worthy, but they're like, she can be rehabilitated. So then they give them with mercy because then there's the possibility of parole.
She shouldn't have gotten any chance. I don't think either one of them should have been given the chance for parole, but both of them were.
No. Yeah, no. Because it's 2024 and 2029. These hoes be coming back out. And let me tell you, my hands are ready.
I'm ready to fight.
My fists are rated E for you gonna get it. Damn, homie. 2024 and 2029 are going to be a really good year.
Listen, 2024 is only 3 years away.
Yeah, it's on.
I got time to, like, beef up And then I need to catch her in the streets.
Yeah. Catch me outside. How about that? Well, okay.
Like, okay, we gonna catch you outside, Rachel. This is for Rachel.
This is for Rachel, you big, fat, white, nasty, smelling fat bitch. I'm so
Oh, God.
why you took me off the motherfucking schedule?
Because you killed somebody.
Because you killed somebody, Rachel. That's why. You can't work here. We don't
You
hire
can't work
murderers.
here. We don't trust you with the kitchen knives.
Yeah, the kitchen knives are not safe in this place.
That is another thing I find crazy, that so many murders happen with kitchen knives. The prisoners make food in jail with kitchen knives.
Yeah, how did the okay, that's I don't understand how that happens. Could you please cut this with a spoke? Like it's not gonna work that way. I don't know how this is gonna happen, so
I mean, typically they're like chained to a table.
are they really?
Like, yes, because I was watching, I don't even remember what I was watching. It was some documentary that they were talking about the people who do like they're like the trusted people. So like they get to do like the cooking and like the cleaning and all that stuff. And the knives were chained to the table with a chain.
Oh, I thought you meant the people. I'm like, they trust them. They trust them, but they've got them chained up to the table. Okay.
No, the knives are chained to the
Oh,
table.
that's smart. That's smart. I get that. That makes a little more sense than having the prisoners who you like say you trust have chained up to the table.
Can you imagine if they actually chain people to tables?
Well, that's what I thought. And then you said like, oh, they do it for trusted people. I'm like, damn, that is the worst way to show that you trust somebody. Like, I trust you so much that I'm gonna go ahead and chain you to the table. I'm just showing you that I love you.
We're just these are chains of love.
And I trust you. Don't worry.
We trust that you are not going to run away, but we're definitely going to chain you to the table either way. Does that make sense? It makes sense to us.
Yeah. No. Yeah. We'll talk about it later. Later.
Well, later. It's okay. Do your work first, and then we'll come back.
I read an article that when Sheila got arrested, she was at Cracker Barrel with her mom. And when she came outside, like all these cops are there, like getting ready to take her out. And she's like, Mom, is it going to be okay? Like, no, homie, it's not going to be okay. Like, you've been dodging this for months now. You've been tweeting bullshit out. Like, you just got done killing your best friend and hiding her body, which, by the way, you didn't do a very good job. You couldn't dig. You couldn't dig because the dirt was too hard. Like, you just killed somebody. Like, you just did the hardest thing, bro. Now you can't even dig a hole.
No, they said, fuck the hole. There's some tree branches over there.
Yeah, let me just cover her up with some tree branches and some twigs. No one will ever notice this body right here.
No,
like,
for sure not.
Fucking dumbass. Isn't Skylar's law, if your kid goes missing, or like you think your kid's missing, they no longer make you wait like a certain amount of time before they start an Amber Alert, even if they think the child's like a runaway?
Yeah, it made it so even if they're not suspected of being kidnapped or any of that fun stuff, you're allowed to put out an Amber Alert as soon as you suspect your child is missing, instead of them being like, oh, well, she could be a runaway, so we gotta wait 48 hours.
Shouldn't every state have that law? Like, I feel like that's important.
It is, and I think it's sad that it's only a law in West Virginia, I think, though. I don't think it's a law anywhere else.
Don't you think it's strange, though, that they tell you that the first 48 hours of someone being missing is, like, the most important to be able to find them? They don't let you file a report that someone's missing for the first 24. It's like you're missing out on those first 24 hours.
Yeah,
just
you're
right
missing
there.
out an entire day.
Yeah, like you just took out a whole day. So now we're like already behind. And
so now you technically have 24 hours.
Yeah, the first 48 hours are the most important. So it's really only the 24 through the 48, really. Like, we're missing a whole bunch of this. I think that's crazy. It's just crazy to me.
I think it's stupid that you're not allowed to report someone is missing right away anyway, just because if somebody that you're close to is missing and you think something's wrong with them, you obviously know them better than any cop is going to know them. So why did they get to make the decision on whether or not they think someone's in danger?
Yeah, and they always just like assume like, oh, is your kid a runaway? Like, and then when the parent says no, like he's never done anything like this, they still are just like,
Yep, they're like, oh, well, you have to wait.
That's weird to me. I've always thought that was weird. Like, let's wait 24 hours of the 48 hours that we have that are like the most crucial part of this.
Mm-hmm.
But those first 48 hours is normally when they lights are out. So we're gonna wait
Right.
the first 24 just
I don't understand how you can look at somebody who's telling you their loved one is missing and be like, well, I know you say they're missing, but we're going to give it another like 23-ish hours before we believe you.
I mean, I get giving them more time to find them, but most people, if their loved one goes missing, they don't go straight to the police. Like, they do a lot of their own work before they go to the police. So obviously, like, the police are the last resort.
Maybe if you come back and talk to me in 23 hours and 59 minutes, I'll believe you.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Dark and Twisties Podcast.
And find us by searching Dark and Twisties on Spotify and Google Podcasts.
We now have a website you can check out at www.darkandtwisties.com. Bye! You didn't bye with me.
I said bye.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I said bye.
We have to do it again, the bye.
Oh, are we saying it at the same time?
Yeah, kind of, I guess.
Are you going to count it down?
Yeah, I'll count it. Ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Bye!
Bye! That's the best thing ever.
That shall work.